I'll put that in the vlog.
Waxing gibbous, waxing gibbous.
Hello, my name is Dakota, and today it is October 5th, 2025, and welcome to another week in my life. And this week, I'll be on my anesthesia rotation. As always, or as it always seems to be, this week is going to be an atypical week on my rotation. For some reason, every time I take a vlog, it just ends up being that way. But I don't know if it'll reflect very atypically on this vlog, but for this week, my preceptor is actually out of town. He has a conference that he has to go to for big anesthesia things. So instead of actually having a preceptor, I'm just gonna go in every morning and look at the board and see if there's an anesthesiologist or a CRNA that I like, that I can follow around for the day. It's very free. The hours, they tell me that I should be there for roughly from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., but they'll let me off pretty early, pretty often, and then they kind of let me take my own breaks, take my own lunch whenever I want. So I'll do my best to record this and document something that'll be fun to look back on. So without further ado, let's get started. Good morning. It is just past 6:30 and I just arrived at the hospital. The first case can sometimes start as early as 7 o'clock, but I've also had cases that don't start until 8, but I don't really know that until I get here and I look at the board. So I am here early just in case, and I'm about to go inside because I also have to change into the hospital scrubs since I don't wear this while I'm in the OR. It is just past 11 and I am now going to lunch. What's really nice is they'll give me a lunch almost every single day on this rotation, and I'll take that lunch and I'll walk over to the hospital that's next door because I'm badged for both hospitals. But at the hospital that I'm rotating at right now, they only give me a discount on lunch, I think, but at the next door hospital, I get like a full paid for lunch. So I just walk over, get the food. It's not fantastic, but at least I don't have to pay for it. Okay, and I'm now off. I got off a little bit early. It's like 3:30 right now. And usually when I get off, I'm not too tired just because I have so much fun on this rotation and I'm really interested in everything that's going on. But today, I will admit I am a little bit tired. It might have to do with the fact that I went camping over the weekend. But regardless, I'm done and I can go home now. The nice thing about this rotation is it's technically an elective rotation, so I don't have a shelf exam at the end of it. So I don't really have anything that I'm technically studying for this rotation. That being said, I am studying ahead because I have 2 rotations with shelf exams, core rotations after this. So I'm studying for psych and family med. But I unfortunately did succumb. I got Anki on my phone, but it's perfect for this rotation because during anesthesia, induction and extubation are the 2 parts that you really need to be aware for. You still need to be aware during the procedure, but there's a lot more downtime and you can kind of do something and then check the vitals. So I do Anki during that time, and then I don't have very much to do afterwards. So now I'm gonna head back. I'm gonna go back home to Kayla because she's visiting me right now, and I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of my evening since I did all of my Anki already. Hey, so I was thinking, and I think the best analogy that I have as to what it's like to be a third-year medical student, if you're not in healthcare, is it's like working a full-time job and going to school full-time. Or it's like running a business and then trying to get your side hustle off the ground at the same time. Because for us, we have to go to our rotations for a specified number of hours, usually pretty full-time, like 6 to 8 hours if we're lucky. And some rotations, like my surgery rotations that you saw, those were like 12-hour days. And then outside of that, we're supposed to study for our shelf exams, which are at the end of our core rotations. So then either during our breaks on our rotations or when we come home, aside from trying to get as much rest as we can, we also just study. And that can also be like anywhere from like 2 to 4 to 6 hours a day. Just a brief passing thought of trying to analogize it to a different world, like a business world, or what it's like to be a student elsewhere, I guess.
My nose is red.
Good morning. It is once again 6:30 and I'm at the hospital, but as you probably saw, Kayla has now gone home. I'm really sad that she had to go home, but she's been with me, visiting me for the past week, and that's been really fun. I think I really like that my house has kind of become a safe space, not just for myself, but for my friends and family, because a lot of times they'll just tell me that they're going to be visiting X, Y, and Z dates, and it's like I don't even have a choice in the matter. They're just going to be there. Of course, they also check with my schedule and see if it's a good time to visit, but I just really like that everybody feels welcome at my house and they just come and go as they please. Like my parents, my sister, my girlfriends, my friends even. But for the first time in maybe a month, I don't have anybody visiting me now, so I'm gonna get inside and focus on doing all of my rotation, and then I'll get home whenever I get home. I have been striking out today. I'm heading to lunch right now, but last week and even yesterday, I was intubating completely on my own. But now I haven't been able to get it on my own today. Granted, they were pediatric intubations, and it was really cool that my preceptor let me do that on my own, because usually they're very protective of the pediatric patients. But I just couldn't get it on my own today. I did intubate the pediatric patient, but it was with a lot of assistance. I am still having a lot of fun. I really like this anesthesia rotation. I just find all of it really interesting, which is really nice for me, because up until this point, up until med school, everything for me has been about searching for a career and do something that I can do that'll give me purpose, and everything I did had to have some sort of significance or meaning to it. But with anesthesia, it's like I'm at a point where everything that I decide to do, because it's going to be medicine, is going to be purposeful and significant. But I just find this genuinely cool. So as of right now, I really want to do anesthesia, but we'll have to see what happens, because this is still only my third rotation and there's so much more that I can see and do and end up liking. Okay, and the day is done, so I'm pretty happy with the day. I don't have anything else to do besides go running with some friends and then relax for the rest of the evening and get ready for tomorrow. I fortunately got one more good intubation today, and that kind of lifted my spirits a bit. So I'm at the point where like things are getting good and I'm getting consistent, but then I'm starting to pick up random and bad habits that I need to nip in the bud before they become something that I do regularly. But other than that, it's just playtime for the rest of the day, I guess, because I got my studying done on my rotation. Alright, that was my Tuesday. It is now over and I'm really happy because in addition to my rotation and in addition to studying, I was able to get my workout in, which if you've been watching, I've been trying to get back to that on a regular basis. So I'm really happy with how today went, and I hope that going through with my future rotations, I can keep doing it like this, where I make the most of my time, because during my first and second year, I would study all the time, I would work out every day, and I would find the time to do other things that I love, like practicing my Vietnamese and my Spanish and playing instruments, listening to music and all that kind of thing. I know it's a lofty goal to maintain all of that all the time, but I'm gonna do my best because I find that I'm happier and it keeps me more focused when I'm actually able to fit all those things in. And I'm stuttering, so I'm gonna get ready for bed after I finish stretching. And I am once again at the hospital for another day on my anesthesia rotation. With it being Wednesday and knowing that I'm basically halfway through the week, it is really nice because my previous rotation was 6 days a week, so having a full weekend is something I really took for granted before. I also really like how time passes on this rotation. I'm not sure if it's necessarily because the time itself passes fast with the way that anesthesia is set up, or if it's just because I like it, but I'm gonna get inside. I am now headed to lunch, but I just did a nasal airway and that was really cool. What I really like about anesthesia is that it's procedural, because I very much like using my hands, but it's not so procedural that I need to know how to do a bunch of things like surgery would be, because as much as I very much value using my hands, I don't like being like a handyman. Because growing up, I would always work on the houses with my dad, or I'd work on the cars with my dad, and I did not enjoy that because it was too much like handyman thinking, whereas this is like the perfect medium, because in addition to using my hands, anesthesia, you're also thinking a lot about the physiology and the science, so I'm still practicing and doing medicine the whole time. Something that I also find really cool, and this is probably more about just getting to see things clinically, is that a lot of the stuff that I read about and learn about, I'm actually seeing now, and anesthesia allows me to see like a lot of things. So some days I'm seeing orthopedic things, and sometimes I'm seeing like GI things, and it really astounds me how much we create assumptions in our mind with what we're learning, because there's a lot of things that I'm learning that I thought that I understood, and now when I see it, they're just like intricacies and details that are so different from just what I imagined it would be like. Okay, enough yapping, I'm hungry. I'm off for the day and I'm going to rush home so I can work out, and then I want to play video games. I'm gonna play Pokemon or something.
You drive.
Look, I'm playing Pokemon. I really like learning things about people that makes it feel like they're less one-dimensional. Like I get a better idea of who they are as a whole. And sometimes I wonder what it is about me that people will see and think like, oh wow, I could really see who he is. Like I could see his whole personality. Like when I'm on my rotations or I'm studying or I'm at work, do they find out that I like running, or do they find out that I like Pokemon an unhealthy amount? And then they're like, wow, that kind of surprises me. And suddenly I'm less one-dimensional because beyond work, I'm a person who has other interests. And I think that moments like this, playing video games in my bed, or yesterday when I was running with my friends, or when I was camping over the weekend with my girlfriend and my friends, I think those are really what, I don't know, make life worth living. Like that's what I live for, not to work. Because yes, success and financial success is really great, and obviously I believe in that because I'm working towards a very long-term goal. But everything has as much meaning as you ascribe to it, and to me that doesn't take very far. Like, there's a limit to that. The things, or rather the people that I really care about, are my friends and family. So being able to just spend time doing stuff like this is really what I think matters the most and what gives me fulfillment beyond anything else. And there is a point eventually where making more money isn't going to make me feel more fulfilled, or it's not going to make me feel any better than making a less amount of money would. And maybe it's a little bit foolish for me to be talking about this when I am very much in debt to going to school and not having an income, but it's just something that I'm thinking about right now as I sit down and get ready to play video games for the rest of the night. So I'm gonna end today, Wednesday, here until I finish playing my games and go to sleep. But I'll see you again tomorrow on Thursday. Hello. I don't know why, but today I woke up pretty energized and excited for the day, so I'm gonna get inside right away. I have been really lucky in the way that I have gotten to see some really interesting things while on my rotation. On my second day, I saw a patient get anaphylaxis during their anesthesia, and I got to witness as the anesthesiologist very quickly identified it and treated it. And then today, the ventilator wasn't working properly and they couldn't figure out why. So then I watched as the anesthesiologist kind of ran through all of the things, like what could be going wrong, and realized that there was a hole in the intubation, so then it wasn't pressurizing and delivering air properly. And I had previously read about both these things and mentioned it to the anesthesiologist, and they said that it's like extremely rare for any of these things to happen. One of them said that they had never even seen a case of anaphylaxis during his years and years of practice. I feel really lucky that I got to witness these because it's really enriching as far as education goes, and it kind of helps me to think on my feet, and just I get to really be a part of the experience. Though I will admit, I'm starting to wonder if I'm part of the problem, considering they both happen rare, but they both happen with me there. I really am loving this rotation though. I think that I'm kind of sold for anesthesia. I want to do it. I just got to make sure that I do what it takes to get into the residency. Anyways, time for lunch. The food was so good. Did you see that? Also, it's raining and I need to get back, so I'm gonna run. I can't believe that it went from being rainy out to now being like sunny and hot out. I also can't believe that I just voluntarily stayed late, like not even be out of courtesy. I genuinely stayed late because I was having fun. This attending in particular really encourages me to be hands-on. So we went from like him saying, oh, I just noticed that this happened, what do you think we should do, to me doing pretty much everything independently and on my own. Like, I was seeing that the IV bag was getting low, so I was changing that on my own, and I was playing with the ventilator settings. Like, he wouldn't even say or do anything. He just let me mess with the ventilator, and as long as the end tidal CO2 stayed between 35 and 45, he just let me do whatever I wanted. And of course, I was trying my best to keep it in that range, and successfully I did. So then he didn't say anything. Like, the ventilator was entirely me today. And there were a couple of points too when I noticed like the blood pressure was getting high and the heart rate was picking up. So and he didn't say anything about it yet, maybe because he was waiting for me to say something. But then I went, hey, is the patient getting stimulated? Should we give them like morphine? And he goes, let's do hydromorphone. And then he had me draw the meds and administer it fully on my own as well. So I was having a lot of fun being there and playing a little anesthesiologist. And as he said, I was pretty much running the show. So definitely one of the best days I've had on anesthesia so far. I'm really happy with it. And now I'm gonna go home, change, and then go play volleyball. So I am too shy to ask somebody to record me playing volleyball, and I am definitely not good enough to do that, so I don't have any footage of that. But I did have a lot of fun playing volleyball, even though I was totally biffing it today. And then as you saw, I also went out to dinner with Solomon. We got pho, which was fantastic, so good. I haven't had that in a long time, which is sad to say. And then he actually covered for me, which was really nice. He said that because whenever my friends and family visit, we make food and feed him. He was gonna cover for me for the pho. But Thursday, done. So I'm gonna get ready for bed, get some sleep, and then start on Friday. Good morning, it is Friday, and I'm going to go into my, oh no. Someone walked by and I got shy. Rotation time. I just got back to my car and I didn't really get any B-roll from the day because I was kind of running around a little bit, and I ended up having lunch at the physician's lounge, so I didn't even get to record when I was going to lunch at a different hospital because I had lunch here. And it was a fun day. I ended up putting in my first IV for an actual patient. I've practiced on dummies a ton of times, but it was my first time doing it on an actual patient, and it went really, really well. The patient also had a lot of experience putting in IVs, so then I was getting advice from the patient about how to actually do it. So it was a great experience. I got it first try thanks to the help of the nurse and the patient, and I'm really grateful for the day. I think it's a good thing that I always end up saying like, I'm grateful for the day, or it's been a good day, because I'm appreciating the fact that I see the best parts of it. Also, after I had lunch in the physician lounge with my attending today, I thanked him for taking me to lunch in there, and he was, yeah, I'm just giving you a little something to look forward to for the future. It is the weekend though, and I've caught up on my studying for the day, so I'm gonna just relax. Hopefully I have some fun things to show you, like playing video games or fiddling with my guitar or going on a run or something. And first things first, look at this rain. That's from a game called Undertale that Kayla recently played. It's an old game, but she played it recently and she made me learn that riff.
It's good to have, so I
I don't know what it is, but lately I found myself really indulging in the things that I used to love doing as a kid. And even more than that, I find myself trying to enjoy it in the ways that I did as a kid, like how I used my time towards it and dedicate myself to it. During the first 2 years of med school, I was kind of like in grind mode, which is good for that time period for sure, because I would study and work out every single day, and then I would study and practice my Vietnamese and my Spanish every single day to just improve it. I mean, I'm still pretty much working out and studying every single day, but with the extra time, rather than sticking to a rigid schedule, like doing more studying for my languages, I'm kind of just going with the flow and doing whatever I want to do and play and have fun with instead. So instead of dedicating like an hour for Vietnamese every day and then another 15 to 30 minutes of practicing piano, I am now fiddling with the guitar if I feel like it. And maybe I'll end up doing that like 2 or 3 times a week. Or I'm playing video games for like an hour at a time and I'll do that like once or twice a week. And it's nice to just not have to plan and do it all that way. Although it is less efficient for sure, I think it's kind of what I need right now, and it rejuvenates me in a way that's better than otherwise. It is already late afternoon and I spent most of the morning lying in bed either doing Anki, reading manga, or playing Pokemon. I am going to go grocery shopping now though, because I have to pick up some things that I've run out of, and Solomon's also not feeling well, so I'm gonna make curry for dinner tonight. And fun little fact, I learned how to make curry because of the numerous times that I've done it with either my girlfriend or some of my best friends when they visit me. And of course, because I'm going to be going to Costco, I have to get the $1.50 hot dog and drink, and then I'm also probably gonna work out later if I make the time for it. Okay, let's go on a run. So that sucked. I'm nowhere near as fit as I used to be because I just ran a shorter distance, slower than I used to. And it used to be a breeze for me, and now I'm suffering. Okay, let's finish dinner. I don't know. Okay, and that's the Saturday. So I have rotted in bed. I did my flashcards, so I studied a little bit. I played games and read manga. I went grocery shopping. I did a workout. I made dinner for my roommate and me. And now I'm clean. I'm gonna finish up my laundry and then call it a night. Hi, good morning. So it is Sunday now, but I don't have anything particularly special planned or different. It'll probably be very similar to yesterday, honestly, with a few more little productive things because I've got to get ready for Monday and this next week. So I'm gonna end the vlog here. So to anybody watching this, I hope that you enjoyed seeing what a week in my life is like as a third-year medical student, this time on my anesthesia rotation. I definitely like this specialty a lot, and this rotation is a lot of fun for me, and I hope that reflected well in how I depicted it. And as of right now, I definitely think that anesthesia is my #1 interest as far as applying to residencies go and picking my future specialty. But we'll have to see. There is a lot that this future has in store for me. I still have the rest of this year before I even have to consider applying, so hopefully you'll stick around and enjoy watching me go through my 3rd year and what it brings. And to my future self, if you're watching this, I wonder what it's like looking back on it and seeing it from the perspective of wherever it is that I end up. So again, thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully see you next month.